Hello everyone and welcome! In today's video, I've got the cheapest RC crawler that I could find back on the bench. This 1/10 scale, well-loved metallic blue Toyota 4Runner sitting on top of a custom SCX-10 chassis. I unveiled this beast a few weeks back when I decided to buy the cheapest hobby-grade ready-to-run 1/10 scale RC crawler that I could find online. I ended up with the rig that you see here. Like I said, this is a SCX-10 chassis with your standard 4-link setup in the back and a rather unique custom leaf spring setup in the front. It's got some nice looking wheels, basic electronics, and a few hop-ups here and there, and it's topped with this Proline 2nd Gen 4Runner body. So my reason for purchasing this truck was I figured it might make a nice base for one of my Scale 3D RC builds. I figured for a low price, I'd have a running truck with all the parts that I need, which I could either modify or disassemble and use for parts. But on the other hand, I was sort of digging the look of this truck and figured maybe I'd just keep it as is and mess around with it for a while. I asked all of you guys in the last video what you think I should do with this truck, and there were many different thoughts and suggestions from you guys, really all over the board, though a lot of you really seem to be digging the 4Runner as well, but again, lots of different opinions and ideas were shared. I got lots of comments on that last video, and I want to thank you all for watching and leaving those comments. One comment that really stood out to me was actually from the guy who sold me this truck. Now this was a completely random online sale, I had no idea who the seller was, but yet I guess they found this video or had it recommended, and I think that's just awesome. But again, thanks everyone for all the likes, comments, and for subscribing. It's always really fun to see what you all have to say, and there were certainly some great ideas and a lot of different ways that we can go about this project. Now, probably one of the most talked about aspects of this truck were the front leaf springs. There are a few leaf spring fans out there, but mostly a lot of you said to ditch them. I kind of like them personally. Sure, they definitely don't offer the best performance. However, I do kind of like the scale factor of having them on there. I should probably put out there that I'm not necessarily looking to make this thing a rock racer or a super capable crawler by any means, just a nice trail truck to run around in the woods. And I don't mind having a bit of a driving challenge, as I've already got the Jeep and the Bronco that you've seen here before on the channel. Both those trucks have 1/9 wheels, they both have 4 links front and rear, and quite a bit of ground clearance. I like that this truck offers something a little different and a more challenging driving experience. But with that said, these leaf springs are going to make using this crawler as a base for the Pathfinder body that I have not really doable, and here's why. First is obviously the wheelbase is way too long. Even the frame rails extend beyond the front and rear of the body. Now, I do have a 3D printed frame that will fit under the Pathfinder body, and I can 3D print some custom links if needed. All I have to do is strip down the SCX-10 chassis and move it all over. Well, normally I could do that, but not exactly here though. Because of this front leaf spring setup, I won't have every single part that I need to run the 4 links to this front axle. Also, I don't think I'll want to use these shocks. I'll have to figure out a way to mount the servo to the chassis or get the parts needed to mount it onto the axle, and a lot of parts will be going to waste, including these custom bumpers and rock sliders. I'll admit, just mocking it up like this, there's definitely some cool potential here, but I just don't think it's all going to quite work out. So I think parting this thing out and using the parts for the Pathfinder build is out. Now with a little work, the pickup cab could be fitted, but the bed is too short. Either I need to print a longer bed, which is doable, or create a custom flatbed or something else to go in the back. However, I'll still probably have to say goodbye to some or all of this custom ironwork, but choosing the pickup body I think will be a little more of a feasible option for this chassis. Of course, I can also choose to keep rocking the 4Runner body, and for now, I think that's what I'm going to do. I might do just a bit of work on it here and there, but I think I'm going to take it to USDE this upcoming February, more or less as is, and after that, maybe do some more extensive modifications to this truck. Though of course, before I do anything to this rig, I need to take it out for a proper test drive. I putted it around a bit after I unboxed it in the last video, but I've yet to actually do any four-wheeling through the woods. So on a surprisingly warm and pleasant Ohio winter's day, I put this 4Runner to the test. I went out to a nice little spot along the creek that has a nice variety of rocks, little trails, some challenging hills, and other obstacles. Driving this truck with its smaller tires and less suspension travel than what I'm used to is certainly a different experience and makes driving it in this area more of a challenge. All in all though, it's fairly capable for what it is. It's certainly no comp truck, but it gets around alright. Here there was a fairly steep hill that I tried to get up for a while, and although I needed to pick a slightly less difficult line, it did make it up with some persistence. I can see the appeal of having a less capable or more scale crawler in the sense that a normal drive over fairly tame terrain might be kind of a snooze fest for a lot of more capable trucks, but with this smaller tire rig, it makes the driving more interesting and more of a challenge. All in all though, it stayed together, seems to work just fine, and really that's all I need from this rig. Not exactly setting those expectations sky high, but hey, it is what it is. So there are a few things that I might tidy up before I take this truck out again, such as making sure that the battery cable doesn't rub against the gear, and cutting that bolt that gets in the way of the rear 4-link bars to give the rear a little more travel. But other than that, this thing's pretty mint, and I think I'm going to run it as is at USTE, and after that, reassess this project and decide what to do next. So there you go, a little update on the 4Runner. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this thing once again. I'm looking forward to what lies ahead for this project, and I hope you all are as well. I think next on my to-do list, as far as getting ready for USTE, is to keep going on the Bronco by adding some more details to it, as well as getting the 180SX up and running and ready to drift. So definitely be on the lookout for those videos in the future. But that is going to be all for today's video. Big thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time.